السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم أبنائي وبناتي طلاب الصف الخامس ابتدائي. Today إن شاء الله we are going to continue our science curriculum for the second term. Today we are going to continue the second term concept with concept 1 theme for the effects of gravity. So the name of the concept is the effect of gravity. And we are going to study what? We are going to study 3 activities, which are 7, 8, and 9. That's all today, inshallah. Let's start with the first activity, which is called the force of gravity. Yeah, the concept talk about the effect of gravity. And the title of the concept is what? The force of gravity. What about the force of gravity? Firstly, they write a definition for gravity or explanation of the gravity. Gravity is the force. Yeah, it's a force. Force of attraction. Again, gravity is a force of attraction. And this force found between objects that have mass. Again, it's a force of attraction exists between objects that have mass. So if these objects have mass, so there will be a gravity force between them. Okay? And we know that gravity is a force. Yeah? Have you ever seen gravity? Of course no. To me, I can see gravity. Okay. But we can see its effect. We can see the effect of gravity around us. How we can see the effect of gravity? Yeah? When something falls. What happens when something falls? Yeah, why this fall? It falls due to the effect of gravity. Next example, an egg. The egg could slip out. The egg could slip out of your hand. Yeah, the egg slip out. And so it will fall to the floor. Why this egg fall out from my hand and why it fall to the floor? That's, my dear students, due to what? Due to the effect of gravity. The next one, when you drop a ball on a book, now I move it, drop it, yeah, it will fly? No, it will fall down toward the ground. So all of these are effects of gravity which we can see. Okay, now my dear students, they put a rule which is a logic one, that what goes up must come down. Yeah, it's by logic. Yeah, what go up must go down. But have you ever think why what goes up must come down? Due to the gravity. Gravity change the direction of anything you throw into there. So the gravity, it changes the direction of the object. So what you move up must go down. Like what? Look at this picture. You can see a girl play with the pole, and the girl throw a pole into the air. Look at this picture. The girl throw a pole into the air. So the pole will go up into the air. And then what happened? They will fall down back to the ground every time. When it fall up, yeah, move up, it will fall down back to the ground every time. Okay, so also my dear students, as the ball flies through the air, its movement change, yeah, where the first ball is moving up, then its direction as it starts to fall down to the ground. Yeah, its direction starts to fall down to the ground. So the ball's direction it changed. Why? Because the gravity force is acting on it. So what changed the direction? The gravity force of the object. Okay. So if we are going to write all what you know about gravity, gravity doesn't only act on a falling object. All of us know that. Gravity acts on a falling object. But it acts on the falling object only? No, no. It acts on a falling object or on a moving object. Yeah, but also it affects on the object that don't move. Take care to this point. Gravity acts on falling or moving or the one that don't move. Falling object, yeah, simply any object fall down. Moving object, yeah, on the ground, or the objects that don't move, like what? Like the ball sit on a chair, me sit on my chair, or at the computer on the table, the mobile in your pencil case, or the book on the table, and so on. All of these, my dear students, due to what? Due to the gravity force, and this gravity force, yeah, called the object, yeah, effect on the object that falling or moving or also which don't move and on their place. Okay, but what about the relation between the gravity and the mass? My dear students, there are two factors that affect on gravity force, which are what? Number one, the mass of the object. Number two, the distance between the two objects. So, if the question asks me about the factor that act on the gravity or affect on the gravity, they are two factors. There are what? Number one, the mass of the object. Number two, the distance between the object. Now, let's start with the first one, which is the gravity and what? And mass. Gravity and mass, what the difference or what the relation between gravity and mass? Okay, my dear students, let's see. All object or all matter have mass, so they must have gravity. Take care to this point. All objects which have mass, yeah, also have gravity. And objects with greater mass. When the object has a greater mass, it do greater force on object around them. As what? As in the Earth and the Moon system. Again, look at this picture, my dear students. What can we see? I can see the Earth and the Moon revolving around it. Which one of them has more mass? The Earth or the Moon? Of course, it's the Earth. Earth has more mass. So, Earth has more mass. Yeah. So, it has a stronger gravity force. More mass, stronger force. Yeah. So, object with the greater mass exert a greater force on the object around them. Like in this, Earth's more mass do more force on the moon to attract them. And the Earth is bigger than the moon, and the moon also has mass, and the force of the Earth stronger than the moon. Okay, but have the moon has any force of gravity? Yes, the moon also, my dear students, has a gravity, and the gravity of the moon causes the Earth's attraction toward it, causing tide. And the moon stay in a fixed orbit. Yeah, that's due what? Due to the gravitational force of the Earth. Earth attract what? The moon, so the moon in its orbit. But the moon try to attract the Earth, but the Earth can't revolve in its orbit because the Earth has more mass and more gravity than the moon. Okay, now I want all of you to check your understand with these questions. Write scientific term of each of the following. Let's start with the results. The effect that pull or push an object to make it move. What pull or push object to move? Yeah, that's, my dear student, a force. Force, pull or push, act on object to make it move. The next one. The force that's found between two magnets. Yeah, it's a force between two magnets. Or between magnet and object. What about this definition? It's the definition of what? Yeah, my dear student, that's the magnetism, which is the force of the magnet. Let's move to the next one. The force of attraction, which it change the direction of the moving object. Moving object, moving direction, and this direction change it towards the ground of the earth. So it will be gravity. The last one, change of the object related to another object. Change of position related to another position. Yeah, is it the motion? Of course, that's the motion, my dear students. So that's to check your understand. Now we finished the first activity, which is activity 4, 7. Now let's move to the next activity, which is called activity 8. What does down mean? That everything move up must go down. What does down mean? In this activity, we will investigate the angle at which object is pulled toward the ground by a force of gravity. Let's start with the tool. We'll need several boxes, not only 1 or 2, more than 4. Number 2, meter stick. And after that, also a string. That's the meter stick. There is a string, that the string is the rope, and also a string, yeah, and also what, a small weight and tape. There is a small weight and also tape. Okay, let's see our steps. The first one. Firstly, my dear students, I want you to tie. Tie what? Tie the string to the meter stick. I'll tie the string to the meter stick and use a piece of tape to hold it in place. Fix it by using this. Then attach the weight to the end of the string. Put the weight to the end of the string. Then suspend the meter stick horizontally between the two equal number of box, or it equals the height of the box. And the string and weight can move freely. Can you measure now the angle between? Take care that what are the sides of the angle. The first one is the meter stick, and the second one is what is the string. Now we can measure the angle between meter stick and string using what? Using protractor. What can you see? The angle will be 90. Why it's 90? Why it's right angle? Because what? Because gravity always pull object downward. Again, gravity always pull object downward. So that's why the angle here is 90 and the number of box at both sides is equal. Let's repeat this step, but by using several more boxes. At the left side of the tilt, the meter stick up. Then measure the angle between meter stick and the string at the right. Here we measure the angle at the right side and also the string. What's the time of this angle? Yeah, you can see that it's what? It's acute angle. It's acute angle and it's less than 90. Okay, so the observation, meter stick is tilted toward the angle between the meter stick and the string. Okay, now let's change this. Move some box away from the left. Is at the left? Move the box away from the left and put them at the right. Yeah. What happened to the angle between the meter stick and also the string on the right side? Yeah, the angle. We can use the angle, so we can use the protractor. What happened when the meter stick is tilted downward? The angle between the meter stick and the string is more than 90. The angle which is more than 90, it's called obtuse angle. Okay, now we can say that there are two factors which change the direction or change the measurement of the angle. What are these factors? They are the tilt of the meter stick up and down, yeah, and the movement of the string, and both of them takes place at the same time. Okay, So what we can conclude? We can conclude that all objects on or near the Earth are pulled down toward the center of the Earth. As the tilt of the meter stick change by doubles, also the angle will change. Why? Because the weight is always being downward the ground. Okay, it will be pulled toward the ground. Let's move to the last activity, which is called pull and gravity around us. There is pulling, yeah, of course, pull of magnetism, pull of attraction, pull of many force, and also gravity around us. So, what's gravity? Gravity is a force, and this force, yeah, increase when the object has more mass, and pull object with less mass. So when the object has more mass, it will affect on the object that has less mass. Like the Earth has more mass, so affect on the object with less mass. The same, the Sun has more mass, so it affect on the object which has less mass. Okay? Now, also with that, you can't see gravity, but you know it is. Why? Because you can see its effect toward. Like what? How can we see the effect of gravity? Yeah, it's around us everywhere. Look, sun pull planets toward it. It's what? It's, my dear student, called what due to the gravity of the sun. The next one, gravity keep our planet in an orbit around the sun. Yeah, gravity, yeah, of the sun keep the planets in a fixed orbit around the sun. The next one, gravity keep our atmosphere around the earth. Yeah, there is atmosphere around the earth and the gravity keep it around the earth. The next one, on earth, gravity pull everything. Yeah, everything pull toward the center of the earth by gravity. Human, rock, water, animal, chair, watch, everything is pulled due to gravity and hold them to the ground toward the earth's surface. Also, my dear student, if you look at a parachute and a skydiver, what happened? They are pulled downward toward the earth's surface. So, if there is a question, give reason. Objects like ball drop to the ground after being thrown up into the air. So the answer will be what? Why it will drop after being thrown up into the air? The reason would be, my dear student, that due to gravity that change the direction of object. Now, our activity is called what? Pull and gravity around us. I remember the title very well. Yeah, and we talk about gravity. What's meant by pull? Like which? The pulling force. Yeah, like magnetism. Magnetism, my dear students, is a force, and that force attracts metal object. All the metal can be affected or attracted by the magnetism? No, the materials which made up from, iron, cobalt, nickel, and also steel. These objects can be attracted to the magnet. Let's see this example. Some iron ore can be attracted to the magnet due to its pulling force on them. The next one. And the next what force, which is called friction. Again, it's called friction. What's the friction? It's a force that opposes the motion of object. Again, force opposes the motion of object. Okay, across solid surface or through a gas or a liquid. Again, it's a force opposes the motion of the object. Yeah, and crossed by what? Through solid, through liquid, or through gas. Yeah, so there is friction force. And this friction force is generated between. Can these objects away from each other to get affected by friction? No. The force, yeah, or this object must be a touching surface. Again, and friction slow the movement of the object. When this boy is moving what? And he want to slow down its speed. So it simply uses what? Uses the brakes. The bicycle brake pull the back movement of the tire and also by friction. Now, let's move to another type or a form of air, of friction force, which is called air resistance. Air resistance. What's air resistance? Miss, it is that it's a type of what? Friction force. Yes, it's a type of friction force that opposes the movement of object. Again, type of friction opposes what? The movement of the object. And it passes through air. This object must be passing through air, like this skydiver in the air and this parachute. Okay, another one flying here, and also my dear student, what it's slow the speed of the body. So it's a force that opposes the movement of the object, and also it passes what? Yeah, this body passes through the air. And air resistance is considered a type of friction force. Huh? Look at this picture. When the skydiver opens his parachute, it gets filled with air. The parachute gets filled with air. Why? Due to the upward flow of wind. So the wind makes upward flow of it, yeah, forming the air resistance to the parachute. Okay? And the air resistance pull skydiver backward and slow his fall to the Earth's surface. Okay? That's all about the three types of force which we studied, which are magnetism, also friction with the air resistance, and also the gravity force. Now, let's solve this question with each other. Choose the correct answer. Friction force, what? The movement of the object. Friction force leading to the slow down the movement of objects. The next one, magnetism. Magnetism, my dear student, is a force that attract object which made of all the following except what? Yeah, my dear student, that's except the wood. Iron, cobalt, nickel, and also the steel are what are magnetic material that attract to the magnet. The next one, the fourth, that oppose the movement, which force oppose the movement and take care that the object move through the air. Yeah, that's simply the air resistance. Now let's solve put true or false. The first one, gravity isn't affected by the mass of object. Is this sentence true or false? Gravity is not affected by the mass? That's of course false. Gravity affected by the mass of object. Next one, gravity of Earth doesn't change the direction of a body which you throw up into the air. Of course, my dear students, yeah, it's false. Gravity, it changes the direction. What go up must move down. Okay. The next one, my dear students. Earth pull living organism only toward its surface. Yeah, if L pull only the living organism, of course, my dear student, it's false. Earth pull living and also the non-living things on the earth. The next one, force of gravity can be seen easily. Can you ever see gravity? But we can see its effect. No, that's the opposite. Gravity, what we can see its effect, but the what the other force, yeah, it change the position, but mainly the gravity change the direction, and we can see the gravity, but we can see its effect. The next one, when using the bicycle, the brake, the bicycle brakes, what happened to it? It will stop due to friction force between ground and time. Is it true or false? Yeah, of course, my dear students, this sentence is true. Friction between the bike tire and the ground, that's what cause the friction force. That's all for today, my dear students. We finished our session with the second part in this concept. Inshallah, in the next part, we are going to finish it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.